How you doing, everybody? Hello. It is good to get a win back. It's also good to be back in the chair. In case you didn't see on Twitter or Instagram or wherever you follow me on social media, I had the privilege of going to the game yesterday. Unfortunately, ended up, ended up being a pretty rough one. So I don't know if maybe I was a little bit of bad luck in that one. But had the privilege to go to the game yesterday. I was able to go onto the field. I was able to do a few interviews with Walker Buehler, Tristan Casas, and Christian Campbell. Honestly, just an amazing moment for me in my own life. Ask me 2 years ago, even a year ago, if something like that would even be happening, and I would have said no. And it's just crazy to think that I was able to go onto the field yesterday and even just have a few minutes with those guys. So big thanks to those guys for giving me the time and talking yesterday. Unfortunately, the game did not go very well yesterday. I got home just too late last night, so I decided just to not do the post game. And honestly, there really wasn't anything to talk about other than how bad it was. Losing 16-1, Tanner Houck just leaving meatballs over the plate. For the most part, I felt like his stuff didn't look terrible. It was just his command for the most part. Just too many hittable pitches, leaving him over the plate. I think the Rays just scattered him very well. I think it's also possible, I don't know, I thought maybe there could have been a little bit of pitch tipping. Well, I just said that backwards. But, the Rays, they're just very good at noticing those little things. And I did notice a couple of differences when it came to his windup, when he was throwing a splitter and a sweeper. I mean, it wasn't like a huge difference, but anytime I see a guy just getting pounded like he was getting, giving up hits like left and right, you do just kind of wonder if maybe that team is just seeing something that we're not seeing. So whatever it was, Houck was just absolutely hittable yesterday. But again, amazing moment to just be there and to be on the field. I mean, literally, like Rafi Devers walking right by me to go to the dugout. I'm like, what the heck? I had to pinch myself a little bit. But pretty cool moment. Pretty cool moment for me. But tonight, that was a good night for tonight. A much-needed win. I hate that we've had to come up with the phrase much-needed win a couple of times, but especially after a loss like that last night, they needed to get back onto the saddle and pick up one here tonight. And Alex Bregman leading the way. What a night for Alex Bregman. For 5 for 5 on the night, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. Holy cow, he's putting up some MVP kind of numbers right now. It's very early, obviously, but when you look at the numbers with him, I mean, they're looking really good. He's hitting .321, .365 on base, a .564 on the slugging, 4 homers on the year, 16 RBIs. Alex Bregman, this is the veteran guy that you brought in to help you win ball games and to help lead the club. And especially after a night like last night, you needed Alex Bregman to come through. And he came through in a big way tonight. This is why you signed this guy to the big bucks. Good on Alex Bregman. But, there were a lot of other keys to this win here tonight. I felt like the quick start to the game was a big key. First inning, Rafi Devers getting the double. And then, of course, Bregman getting the RBI base hit that made it 1-0. I just felt like, yes, Bregman having the big night, but just getting started quickly tonight, setting the tempos, setting the tone for tonight. I thought that was a big deal. Getting on the board first, not letting the Rays build up any momentum. A quick start, I felt, was a much-needed thing for tonight. But everybody, before I do go on with some other keys to the win tonight, do want to go over tonight's sponsor, and that is True Classic. They have wonderful clothes. I'll let the guys over at Foul Territory take over.
If you're looking for premium clothes at an affordable price, you got to check out True Classic. AJ, you're rocking the True Classic shirt right now.
Oh, believe it. Look at this thing. Look at it. It's soft. It fits perfect, even with these guns. Not too tight like Scott likes it. Little bit of room to move in there, right? Look, you can wear it under a suit. You can wear it out to dinner with some nice jeans. You can wear it to the gym if that's what your game is. Whatever it takes, this thing fits great, feels great. Great shirt.
The long sleeve Henny for these cold, kind of warm spring days. Perfect.
Yep. build the perfect outfit in 5 minutes or less. Everything goes great together. Free shipping on all orders. It's designed to bring out your best features with a perfect fit. So, FT fam, whether you're bundling up for the cold or getting ready for spring, level up your style with clothes that actually fit right. Go to our exclusive link, trueclassic.com/foul to save. That's trueclassic.com/FOUL. Shop now and elevate your wardrobe today. FT fam, get after it.
True Classic, go check it out. trueclassic.com/foul. I'm wearing their clothes for a long time. I'm telling you, they are pretty good. Actually, the shirt that I was wearing yesterday, I hate that I sound like I'm just trying to be, like I'm glazing the sponsor over here, but I actually was wearing a True Classic shirt to the game yesterday. They're very comfy. I do like their clothes, but I'll talk more about the experience at the end of after the post game here. I'll give you a little bit more kind of the experience of it. I'll talk about like some of the behind the scenes kind of stuff that, all the press people get. It's pretty cool. But moving on here, another key for tonight, Jarren Duran. I think Jarren Duran waking up a little bit tonight, coming through, had the home run there. Coming into the night, hitting .230 with a .581 OPS. Duran, you go back to the first couple of series, he was getting some pretty hard contact, just having a hard time getting balls to fall into play. But, just not a whole lot of success, on the stat sheet. But coming through in the second inning after the Carlos Narvaez base hit, first home run of the year, made it 2-0 at that point. Duran, at the end of the day, he's the catalyst, and he is what makes he's what stirs the drink. He is the straw that stirs the drink. He's got to get going a little bit more. At the end of the day, he sets the tone. He's the leadoff guy. So Duran, I think, contributing early on in the game, I think that was also a big factor. And then also the bottom of the order as well. You had Seti getting the RBI base hit in the third that made it 5-1. Carlos Narvaez getting back to the Duran home run. He had the 2-out RBI base hit that led to the Duran home run. So, Carlos Narvaez, even though, not a big offensive performance, but, him being able to get to Duran, that was a big deal. And Tristan Casas, I talked with him yesterday. Really one of the questions I asked him yesterday, hey, your barrel percentage is looking good, sweet spot's looking good. He's got some of the advanced metrics that are leaning in his favor. But so I asked him, hey, what are you looking for right now? You looking for just something to fall in? What else you trying to work on here? And he was just saying, really, it's, he was more hinting at, the pitch selection, swing selections. And I think with Casas tonight, I think you saw some good signs. He had 3 very hard hit balls tonight. Did have a base hit, but he also, on the base hit, 108 miles per hour. Or no, sorry, the base hit, actually, hold on, I just tweeted it out. Let me get to the exact, my potato brain can't remember all this. Hold on a second. Let's actually just make sure I'm doing it right. So he had 2 balls, one of them 108 miles per hour off the bat, the other one almost 111 miles per hour off the bat. He also had a fly out that was just under 100 miles per hour. So, the power's there. He's making the good contact. It's just a matter of, I think, just like he said, swinging at some better pitches, not missing at pitches in the zone too often. Because when he does make contact, the guys making hard contact, even if they're outs, they're loud outs. So Casas, I think, maybe showed a couple of things here tonight that, maybe could be on his way to possibly breaking out. We'll see here. But overall, just a better showing for the offense tonight. Obviously, Alex Bregman leading the way with just a massive night overall. I mean, my goodness, 5 for 5 with a couple of homers. Alex Bregman, have yourself some ice cream tonight. Also, shout out Walker Buehler. Talked with Walker Buehler yesterday. That was pretty cool. Walker Buehler was actually the first guy that I was able to talk to yesterday. And he will go down as the first player, minus Alex Cora, because I did interview Alex Cora in the offseason. But if you're talking about from an active player, Walker Buehler will go down as the first ever player I was ever able to interview. So that was pretty cool. But with Buehler, he said the big difference for him in his last start against the Blue Jays was just kind of increasing the tempo a little bit, getting a better flow going. Very similar start to the Blue Jays start last time out, working in a lot of different pitches. He was leading with the fastball, the cutter. He was working in sinkers, knuckle curves, the changeups, the sweepers. That's what you're going to get out of Buehler. You're just going to get a big pitch mix. But the Rays made him work. They made him work tonight. A lot of contact off the bat. 89 pitches overall for Buehler, and the Rays made about 40% contact on his pitches. So he was getting a lot of ground balls, not a lot of strikeouts for Buehler tonight. But the Rays, they were definitely challenging him. Overall, a solid start for Buehler. Just missed a quality start. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, 3 Ks. Did give up the home run to Aranda earlier on in the game. But overall, Buehler giving you just a solid start, right? The bullpen, on the other hand, it was fine, but Zach Kelly made it a little interesting there in the 9th inning. But I'm not really going to get on to Zach Kelly. They tried to squeeze 3 innings out of the guy. He had a couple of outings last year. They were 3-inning performances. They tried to get another one out of him tonight, but in the end, he just wasn't able to lock it down in the 9th. He gave up the base hit to Misner there. Mangum had the double that made it 7-3. Yandy Diaz had a heck of a night last night. 2 out. Base hit that made it 7-4. So they bring in Chapman. You did get the wild pitch. Yandy moved up to second, so you're starting to think, oh my goodness, these Rays, these pesky Rays. I feel like the Red Sox have had just the worst luck against the Rays. I definitely know they have a losing record against the Rays going back the last 5 years now. I hate when the Red Sox play the Rays. It's always just it's never goes in our favor, man. Ever since 2008, when the Rays just reinvented themselves, I feel like the Red Sox have always had a difficult time with this team. I don't know what it is, but besides that one postseason, but other than that, what was that, 2013? So you bring in Chapman, he locked it down, had to strike out to Curtis Mead, the end of the ball game, 7-4 final. But just a good win for the Red Sox. Again, it's very early. We're not even 20 games in. But after that just embarrassing loss last night, you needed this one tonight. Just a good all-around team win. You're getting a big performance from one of your big-time players in Alex Bregman. Walker Buehler stepping up enough to get it done. Didn't use a whole lot of arms out of the bullpen. You used Wilson, you used Kelly, you used Chapman. So I feel like, going into tomorrow's the bullpen, I still think is in pretty good shape. And Chapman only really a few pitches tonight, so I feel like he'll still be available for tomorrow. It's a good all-around win, man. Seeing some more out of Jaron Duran, Tristan Casas, seeing a couple of signs there. But also, one more thing to mention. Good defense, right? Finally, no errors on the night. I'm not really, the biggest guy with errors. I know people like to throw those out. I like to look more at outs above average, the defensive runs saved. They look better in that department, but either way, though, the Red Sox, they have been sloppy when it comes to the defense. So just a good night. Overall, very good night overall. Seeing some of your reactions in the chat. The mighty Boston, Tristan not getting better batting wise. I mean, when you take a look at the exit velocity for him tonight, I think that was a pretty good sign. He just needs to get a bit more consistent with actually getting the results. So, hopefully this is a step in the right direction. We'll see. Moose 15-34. Too bad Campbell couldn't extend his streak. Yeah, he had a chance to help add on there late in the game. Wasn't able to come through. Christian Campbell yesterday, man, talking to him, man, what a nice guy. Such a nice guy, man. Like, it was funny. He was about to go take BP. I wasn't sure if he was about to take BP. He was coming in my direction near the dugout. I didn't know if he was going back into the clubhouse or whatever. And I was like, hey, Christian, can I just get a couple minutes? And he's like, yeah, I just got to do BP. Can I do it after? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Such a nice guy, man. That was a very nice conversation. Yeah, Christian Campbell, man. You can definitely tell that guy, he's got a bright future. Good head on his shoulders, man. Really like that. Walker, he was pretty cool with just doing it. I as he was walking by me, I was like, hey, Walker, you got a couple minutes? He's like, yeah, sure. So he was pretty kind of, obviously, he had to start today. So yesterday he didn't really have anything going on all that much. So, he was cool about it. With Casas, here's the funny story about Casas. This was actually a bit of growing pain for me. So, I'm never there, pregame. I don't really know the whole routine on everything when it comes to, the infield drills, warming up and whatnot. I don't know what exactly is going on. So Tristan, he was running by me. I'm kind of on the side there at the camera well, right near the dugout. And Tristan's running by me. And I was like, hey, Tristan, you got a couple of minutes? He just looked at me. He's like, no. And then he ran right over to first base, and I'm like, oh, he's got his infield drills to do. So I felt so stupid when I asked that, and I was like, oh, yep, that's my bad. And but then after he was done with the infield, or was it? I can't remember if it was after infield or after BP. I can't remember. It was all such a blur. But he came right back over to me, like made a beeline to me, and he's like, hey, you still want to do the interview? I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Really nice guy, man. The fact that he came back over to me, I wasn't even going to ask him again because I felt like such a moron, like asking him, and he's obviously right in the middle of he's working, and I just felt dumb. So that was really nice of him to come back over to me and I guess give me a second chance, I guess. But he was cool, man. Exactly what you know at Acasis. The guy will give you all the answers you need. He'll give you the long answer. Very nice, man. Everyone was very welcoming at the during pregame yesterday. Not one really a problem at all. I was by myself. I had a tripod. I didn't even have anyone helping me out, so that was a little nerve-wracking in itself, just being by myself, making sure audio was good. I was just recording with my phone. But still, you're always afraid like you're going to forget to hit the record button. Maybe the microphone doesn't work. So there was a lot of nerves. It was also getting to the ballpark it was because I've never been to Steinbrenner Field. I know Tropicana. Like I know the ins and outs of that place. So Steinbrenner Field was just a new thing. And the way everything was set up, you had to park out near Raymond James Stadium where the Bucks play. So I was trying to find that lot, and again, just not really familiar with the area. So I eventually found the lot. I didn't really know what was the right way to get to the stadium after that, and eventually I found the catwalk or whatever it's called that led right to the stadium. I had to go find the booth where I picked up the credentials, and the first place I went to didn't have mine, so I had to go to another window, kind of like where they have the tickets. And they had it there. So I was kind of rushing, I was like, oh my goodness, I got 2.5 hours until the game. I want to give myself as much time as possible. So got all that. And then it was a matter of trying to find out how to get to the field, even though, yeah, the field's right there. It's like, okay, which way do I have to go? Do I have to go through an underground, tunnel, near the clubhouses, or what's the right way for me to go? I didn't know any of that. So it was a big learning experience on my part, but then also, just getting onto the field and trying to just interview, at that point, when I got to the field, I was hoping for one interview at that point. And luckily I was able to get 3. And it was just a little chaotic, and also just the nerves of making sure the camera was good, audio was good, by myself. In a way, I felt like kind of a doofus just being there with just my tripod and everyone's just kind of hanging out. Like in the clubhouse, not the clubhouse, the dugout. Will Middlebrooks was there with Will Fleming talking with Cora. I was hoping to say hi to Cora again, but he was pretty much laser focused, and I don't think he even saw me standing there. Maybe he did, and he said, "Oh, this redhead guy. I don't want to talk to this guy again." But no, overall, just it was a lot better than I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to end up being a bit of a mess, but it ended up working out. Everything was good. Right after that, it was kind of right before the game. They had food available for media and press, and it was freaking delicious. My goodness, I had this steak and rice and a little salad to go along with it. It's phenomenal. It was actually fantastic. better than some restaurants I've gone to. It was very good. I actually, like, the steak was, what was this? I think it was flank steak and some rice. Had some vegetables with it too. It was very good. But yeah, after that, you go up to the press room, and it was pretty cool. Just had my own little spot where I had my name tag there, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is actually really, this is pretty neat. So yeah, other than that, unfortunately, I was not able to go to the post game. To be able to get access to the clubhouse, you need to kind of build up that trust over time. I'm there for my first time, so it's like they don't know who the heck I am. So you have to kind of over time earn that access. But the fact that I was even able to get that much, to be able to go onto the field, pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Hopefully, sometime in the future I can do it again. And I would love to go to a post-game scrum. I had questions ready. I found out like halfway through the game I wasn't going to be able to do the post-game, but I wanted to ask about Tanner Houck. Was there any pitch tipping maybe possibly going on? Especially after a loss like that, you feel like you can kind of bite into some stuff. But in a way, I'm also glad I wasn't able to go to the post-game because it's a pretty frustrating night, right? You lose 16-1. Core probably just wanted to be done with the whole thing, So hopefully next time, and if I am able to go to a post game, it's after a good win. So wasn't really too unhappy about not being able to go to the post game. So anyway, that's pretty much my experience on that. Pretty awesome. I still can't believe it. Pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. I've been a fan of the Red Sox now for pretty much my entire life, and to be able, I started my own channel, 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago, just like in my room, recording videos on my phone. If you ever feel like you want to, maybe try starting a channel. I mean, I did it with a cell phone and like a $20 USB microphone that I found on Amazon, and it came with like this little arm thing. It was like $20 on sale or something. Dude, I'm telling you, man, like, you just got to put the work in. If you ever feel like you want to start something like that, it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be grind every night. But I was able to do it. And here we are 5 years later, going from recording videos in my room that I'm sharing with like 4 random roommates, to, using a USB microphone and my iPhone, to 5 years later being on the field and talking with Christian Campbell and Walker Buehler and Tristan Casas. It's like you can do what you dream to do as long as you put the work in, man. You just gotta, over time you just get better and better, and you just figure out things along the way. And here we are. So anyway, enough of that. Enough of the rambling. But I'm gonna get out of here, everybody. Gonna wrap that up. Good game here tonight. Really needed that one. That was a good win overall. Good win overall. We'll be back here tomorrow for the finale. Game 3 tomorrow. Let's actually do a quick preview on that. I don't think they've announced. At least I haven't. Oh, they did announce. Okay. It was announced. I didn't catch that. So we got Sean Newcomb back on the mound. You got Zach Littell. Zach Littell is off to a pretty bad start. Newcomb got roughed up in his last time out. Not a lot of experience, like when it comes to at-bat wise against Littell, but you've had a lot of guys that saw him over the last couple of years, right? If you're taking a look at the guy that's been the most successful, you got to look at Jarren Duran. He's had 9 ABs against him. He's got 3 base hits, an OPS over 1,200, including a home run. So look out for Jarren Duran. Can he keep this going here, right? A good game tonight, getting the home run. Let's see if he can keep it going for tomorrow. Other than that, not really a whole lot else. Buehler, he's hitless against him. Bregman's hitless against him in his career. Devers actually, sorry, I missed that one. Devers has a home run against him. So let's see. Not a whole lot of ABs against Newcomb. I'm a little worried about it. We'll see, because Newcomb was very hittable his last start, and we just saw what the Rays did last night. So they're going to have to come in with a good game plan for Newcomb to have some success. I wonder if they go to a bullpen game pretty quick. You want to win this one. You want to get back to 500. especially going into the next series against the White Sox this weekend. Going to a day off, you'd like to get a win going to a day off, right? Feeling good on the day off. So, everybody, I'm out of here. I'm going to wrap that up here. Thank you so much for joining here tonight for the post game. If you are with us live, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. And if you want to go watch those interviews, I have them posted here on the channel. It's about like a 6.5 minute total video. Go check those out. Go leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And if you are with us on audio format, Spotify, Apple, whatever it may be, if you can, leave us a 5-star review. It really does help out. Everybody, I'm out of here. Go have yourself a good rest of your night, and I'll talk to you next time.